They told us the Reformation was about faith. It wasn't. It was about money. For 1,000 years, the Catholic Church wasn't just a religion. It was the richest, most powerful financial empire on earth. It taxed, it traded, it speculated, it promised salvation for a price. And in 1517, one German monk finally called it out. Welcome to the financial timeline, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. By the early 1500s, Europe wasn't ruled by kings. It was ruled by creditors in robes. The church owned a third of all European land. Priests collected tithes, like taxes. Bishops operated like bankers. Popes lived like emperors, funded by the same peasants they told to reject wealth. Every moment of life carried a fee. Baptism, marriage, death. Even the afterlife came with a price tag. The church's most profitable product, Indulgences, slips of parchment said to erase sign. For the poor, they were hope. For the rich, insurance. For the church, pure cash. And Rome desperately needed cash. Decades of wars and lavish spending had drained the Vatican's treasury. So Pope Leo X, menos a Medici, banker at Ert, launched a massive fundraising campaign. The rebuilding of St. Peter's Basilica, officially the House of God. In reality, the world's most expensive branding project. To pay for its salvation became a financial instrument. Indulgent sellers fanned out across Europe with a slogan, "As soon as the coin in the coffer rings, the soul from purgatory springs." But the money didn't stay local. It flowed through merchant banks, especially the Fuggers, straight into Rome. This was early global finance. Local extraction gives centralized wealth. Meanwhile, in Northern Europe, people were struggling. Wages stagnant, cities poor, gold draining away. Rome preached sacrifice, but lived in marble. Resentment boiled. Rome didn't just control religion. It controlled ambition. In 1494, Pope Alexander VI literally divided the world between Spain and Portugal. The Treaty of Tordesillas gave Portugal everything east of a line, Spain everything west. A papal monopoly, written in ink, sealed in gold. France, England, and the German states were banned from exploring or trading overseas. Rome didn't need to colonize. It took royalties instead. The church crowned kings, approved loans, licensed mines, and arbitrated debts. It was a spiritual empire and a commercial one. In Wittenberg, a quiet monk named Martin Luther saw a system addicted to revenue. When indulgent sellers arrived in his city, preaching forgiveness for silver, he recognized the truth. This wasn't corruption. It was structure. So on October 31st, 1517, he nailed his 95 Theses to a church door. It wasn't rebellion, it was an audit report. But something had changed. The printing press shattered Rome's monopoly on information. Luther's pamphlet went viral faster than armies could march. He accused the church of turning faith into business, guilt into revenue, sin into subscription. And then he dropped the financial bomb. Every man is his own priest. He didn't just decentralize theology, he decentralized the economy of belief. And suddenly German princes saw opportunity. Breaking from Rome meant no more papal taxes, no more gold draining south, no more Italian bankers dictating terms. The Reformation spread because it was profitable. Across the Channel, Henry VIII was watching. His break from Rome didn't begin with theology. It began with frustration over a marriage. But when the Pope refused his annulment, Henry realized the deeper truth. Rome wasn't denying him a wife, it was denying him sovereignty. So in 1534, Henry passed the Act of Supremacy, declaring himself head of the Church of England. This wasn't faith. It was a financial rebellion. England stopped sending money to Rome. Then Henry went further. Between 1536 and 1541, he dissolved the monasteries, seizing 1/3 of all English land. He liquidated sacred assets, sold them to nobles and merchants, and transferred centuries of church wealth to the crown. It was one of the greatest wealth transfers in European history. And with Rome's restrictions gone, England was free to explore, colonize, and raid Spanish treasure ships. The Reformation didn't just create Protestantism, it created empire. From Wittenberg to Westminster, one pattern emerged. The Reformation wasn't about doctrine. It was about control. Northern Europe adopted a new moral code. Labor is sacred, thrift is holy, reinvestment is divine. Prosperity became proof of righteousness. Failure became sin. The logic of indulgences didn't die. It evolved. The Church once sold forgiveness. States now sold opportunity. The printing press that spread Luther's theses now spread stocks, certificates, investment schemes, political manifestos. The new priests weren't clergy. They were merchants and financiers. Faith in God became faith in money. Governments issued paper money backed not by gold, but by collective belief. The Vatican turned bread into body. Modern finance turned paper into wealth. Both required faith. By the 1700s, the Church's confessional had become the credit score. The tithe became taxation. Indulgences became government bonds. The Pope's treasury became central banks. We replaced prayer with productivity, penance with payment, eternity with compound interest. Different symbols, same system. The Reformation didn't end the economy of belief. It reprogrammed it. Because the most powerful empire isn't one with armies or cathedrals. It's the one built on trust. And trust, like faith, can only be spent so many times before it runs out. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History has the answers, and I'll show you where to look.